In a world where hasty judgments often obscure the truth, Chris Gardner's saga stands as a powerful testament to overcoming and transformation. Worn down by the constant struggle with poverty, Linda makes the difficult decision to leave her husband Chris and their young son, believing that she seeks peace and stability away from the uncertainties that dominate her life. However, she underestimates Chris' incredible resilience. Armed only with iron determination and a deep love for his son, he not only fights to survive, but strives to thrive and redefine the true meaning of success. As Chris faces and overcomes challenges that test his spirit and abilities, he not only rebuilds his life, but also forges a bright future few could imagine. When Linda, driven by curiosity and remorse, reunites with Chris and Christopher, she is faced not only with their success, but also with the harsh reality that the family she abandoned now exemplifies what many aspire to. Join us on this captivating journey that goes beyond overcoming adversity. It's a deep exploration of dismantling prejudices and recognizing the limitless potential found in perseverance and love. Dive with us in this moving chronicle, where beliefs are questioned and the true essence of humility and altruism are revealed. Don't miss a single moment of this exciting journey of overcoming and transformation. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on the notification bell to continue exploring inspiring stories like Chris Gardner's. Join us to discover how resilience, love, and determination can change destinies and inspire a new vision of success. Click subscribe and be part of this community that celebrates stories of courage and personal transformation. In an urban setting full of challenges and mixed hopes, Chris Gardner, our protagonist, maneuvers through adversity with a suitcase full of bone scanners, a promising but little understood technology. The day unfolds into a series of meetings where Chris, with a smile that hides his concerns, tries to convince doctors and clinics of the value of his product. It's not just the scanners he carries, but also the weight of supporting his young son, Christopher, that becomes his greatest motivation and deepest concern. Every door that closes on Chris feels like a twist of fate, testing his resilience and forcing him into a game of constant one-upmanship. Chris's daily struggle is not only against the tough market, but also an internal battle of self-assertion and humility, where he has to convince himself as much as others about his ability to change his situation. The streets of San Francisco, which serve as the stage for this dramatic journey, are portrayed with a mix of realism and hope, where every corner can be the scene of a new inspiration or a new challenge. It is in this scenario that Chris, with his son by his side, moves from one place to another, between renewed hopes and frequent disappointments, remaining firm in the intention that each day brings a new opportunity. As night falls, Chris returns to his small apartment, preparing for another day. Your routine is a cycle of persistence, where preparation for the next day begins as soon as the sun sets. In the meantime, moments of tenderness and complicity with Christopher are interspersed with the preparation of his sales strategies, showing that, despite the adversities, the connection between father and son is the true core of his journey. At the end of each day, Chris reflects on his choices and the path he is taking. He knows that the road to happiness is arduous and full of obstacles, but he also understands that true overcoming comes from the ability to face each new challenge with courage and determination. This is the starting point of a saga that not only defies circumstances, but will also redefine the meaning of success and personal fulfillment. This beginning of the story, full of visual and emotional elements, serves as an invitation for the viewer to embark on a journey of self-discovery and perseverance together with Chris and his son. The narrative promises to be a reflection of the daily struggles that many face, making Chris's story not only inspiring, but also extremely relatable. I would like to know if this part of the roadmap meets your expectations, or if there is anything you would like to adjust or expand on before we move on to the next topic. Chris Gardner faces a daily battle not only to sell his scanners, but also to maintain the stability of his family life. Every sales rejection is a blow not only to your pocket, but also to your spirit. The camera follows closely as Chris navigates the streets of San Francisco, passing clinics and hospitals, where his persistence is put to the test again and again. The doctor's expressions vary between disinterest and curiosity, but they rarely result in a sale. and each non-receipt leaves a mark of frustration and doubt. This difficulty is accompanied by increasing household expenses. The camera, in one smooth motion, captures Chris reviewing his accounts at night, the numbers on the paper standing out as grim reminders of his precarious situation. Arguments with his wife, Linda, are fraught with tension and despair. The lack of support and mutual understanding makes the climate at home increasingly untenable, and discussions are punctuated by close-ups of their faces marked by exhaustion and fear of the future. The turning point in her personal life happens when Linda, unable to withstand the constant pressure, decides to leave Chris and her son to seek a more stable life in another city. This scene is marked by a heavy silence, interrupted only by the sound of Linda's suitcase dragging across the floor. Chris and Christopher, hand in hand, watch her departure, a moment of painful altruism where Chris chooses not to hold Linda back, recognizing his own limitations and her well-being. Chris's loneliness is palpable. As he tries to comfort Christopher, his own vulnerability is evident. The camera captures the exchange of glances between father and son, a moment of humility and mutual understanding that strengthens their bond. It's at this point that Chris decides that despite the odds, he will do whatever it takes to create a better future for them. The challenges Chris faces are a roller coaster of emotions, where each low feels deeper than the last. Yet each small success, like an unexpected sale or a moment of laughter shared with Christopher, is celebrated with an intensity that only those who have faced despair can understand. These little moments of joy are what keep Chris moving forward, propelling him into the next phase of his journey. I'd like to know if this section aligns with your expectations, or if there are specific adjustments you'd like to make before we continue. Chris Gardner discovers an opportunity that could change his fortunes dramatically. The camera follows him on a particularly dark day when, by chance, he comes across a man in impeccable attire getting out of a Ferrari. Intrigued and eager to understand the secret behind the man's visible success, Chris begins a conversation that turns out to be the turning point of his life. The chance to participate in an extremely competitive internship at a prestigious stock brokerage. The intensity of the scene increases as Chris, with a mixture of hesitation and excitement, learns about the challenges of the internship, with no initial pay, but with the promise of a well-paying job at the end for the most outstanding candidate. The camera captures his internal conflict, focusing on his face as he weighs the risk of taking the risk, considering his responsibilities as a single father. Determined, Chris faces the upheaval with firm resolve. He signs up for the internship program, motivated by a mix of desperation and inspiration. The scene of his interview is tense, marked by detailed shots of his hands shaking slightly and his determined look. The camera switches between the interviewers and Chris, creating a rhythm that reflects the tense exchange of questions and answers, where Chris uses every ounce of his wit and charm. By accepting the internship, Chris enters a new phase of his life, marked by even greater challenges than before. The camera follows him returning home, where he explains the situation to Christopher. The little one, with big eyes and full of trust in his father, listens attentively, promising to be the man of the house when Chris is at work. It's a moment of selflessness and humility, where Chris reaffirms his commitment not only to his success, but to his son's well-being. This new chapter brings an atmosphere full of tension and expectation. As Chris prepares for the first day of his internship, he revisits his few outfits, choosing the one that best hides the wear and tear of years of use. The preparation is meticulous, symbolizing not only the change in your routine, but in your mindset. He is ready to face the business world with few resources, but an abundance of determination and hope. Now that we've covered the turning point of Chris's story, I wanted to see if this part of the script is to your liking, or if there's anything you'd like to tweak or add before we move on to the next topic. Chris Gardner's internship is a true emotional and professional roller coaster, full of challenges and small victories that make up the fabric of his journey toward stability. The camera follows him through the busy corridors of the brokerage, where he quickly learns that every second counts. The first few weeks are a whirlwind, with Chris racing against time, balancing demanding tasks with the need to impress his superiors. At home, the situation is no less challenging. Chris and Christopher face the reality of living on an even tighter budget, due to the lack of salary during their internship. The camera captures touching scenes of Chris preparing simple meals, counting every penny, and using his creativity to make every moment with Christopher an opportunity to teach him valuable lessons about life and perseverance. One of the most dramatic moments occurs on a cold night, when, after a long day of work, Chris and Christopher discover that they have been evicted from their apartment. With no options, they take refuge in a subway station where they find shelter in a public bathroom. The camera focuses on Christopher's eyes, who look to his father for comfort, and on Chris, whose expression is a mix of despair and determination. This emotionally charged scene highlights the stark reality of their circumstances while reinforcing the strength of their relationship. Despite these adversities, the internship offers Chris moments of triumph. One such moment is captured when Chris solves a Rubik's Cube during a taxi ride, impressing a potential investor. The camera captures the surprise and awe on the investor's face, a stark contrast to the doubtful expressions of other passengers. This is a turning point, where Chris not only demonstrates his unique ability to solve problems under pressure, but also begins to earn the respect of key figures within the brokerage. These ups and downs are presented with a dynamic montage, alternating between the challenges faced at work and moments of connection and care between father and son. Each success and obstacle are framed as crucial steps in Chris's journey, with the camera always on his reactions and lessons learned along the way. As the internship progresses, Chris is increasingly faced with the reality that his future at the brokerage depends not only on his professional performance, but also on his ability to remain resilient in the face of personal adversity. The camera captures his determination in moments of solitary reflection, where he reaffirms to himself and to the audience his unshakable will to overcome. This segment of the script delves deeply into the challenges Chris faces and how he overcomes them, offering the viewer an intimate and inspiring look at his journey. Before we continue to the next topic, I would like to know if this part meets your expectations or if you want to make any adjustments. As the stage progresses, Chris Gardner demonstrates unwavering strength, even in the face of the nearly insurmountable obstacles that stand in his way. The camera follows him at dawn, as he meticulously prepares for another day, choosing the most presentable clothes, even if already worn out from constant use, symbolizing his determination to maintain a successful image. At work, Chris's every little progress is captured with an edit that intersperses his routine calls, market analysis, and interactions with clients and colleagues. Chris's ability to connect with clients, even under intense pressure, is highlighted in a sequence where he, using his wit and humility, manages to close an important negotiation, bringing temporary relief and a dose of optimism. The relationship between Chris and Christopher continues to be a central pillar of the narrative. The camera captures moments of intimacy and mutual learning, such as when Chris teaches his son to play basketball, using the sport as a metaphor for life, emphasizing the importance of never giving up, regardless of the difficulties. These moments are essential, as they offer a human and emotional counterpoint to the tensions of the corporate environment. One of the culminations of Chris's journey comes during a presentation to potential investors. The tension is palpable, and the camera focuses on his face as he presents his investment recommendations with newfound confidence. The success of the presentation is a turning point, where Chris not only demonstrates his professional capabilities, but also reaffirms his belief in the possibility of changing his life. His son's support and admiration are constantly highlighted, offering Chris a source of motivation to persevere. The camera captures the proud look of Christopher, who sees his father as a true hero, reinforcing the message that true success is built through persistent efforts and an unshakable faith in oneself and the future. As the internship draws to a close, Chris's anxiety increases, but his determination never wavers. He becomes a role model within the brokerage, inspiring both colleagues and superiors with his work ethic and dedication. The camera documents this transformation, showing Chris as a man who, despite adversity, never loses hope or the ability to inspire those around him. This topic of the journey to stability is crucial to understanding Chris's evolution, both professionally and personally. I would like to know if this part of the script meets your expectations, or if there is anything you would like to adjust or expand on before we move on to the climax of the story. Tension builds as the internship program nears its end. Chris, aware that this may be his last chance to secure a stable future for himself and his son, channels all his energy into impressing his superiors at the brokerage. The camera captures the intensity of his final days, highlighting his long work hours, his unwavering focus, and the occasional glances at the photo of Christopher on his desk, a constant reminder of his motivations. The narrative reaches its peak when Chris is called to a meeting with the company's executives. The walk to the meeting room is filmed in a long shot that heightens the anticipation, with each step resonating like a heartbeat, echoing her anxiety and hope. The camera stays on his face, capturing every nuance of emotion as he awaits the verdict. Inside the room, the atmosphere is solemn and full of expectation. Chris sits down, trying to hide his nervousness. The executives begin to speak, and the camera switches between their serious faces and Chris's attentive gaze, hanging on each word. Then, the moment of revelation. Chris is informed that he has been chosen for the coveted paid position. The camera focuses on his face as he absorbs the news, a mixture of relief and disbelief passing through his eyes, followed by discreet tears of joy and gratitude. The next scene shows Chris leaving the brokerage building, the weight of the world feeling like it has been lifted from his shoulders. He picks up Christopher from school, and in an emotional hug, shares the good news. The camera captures Christopher's beaming smile and the look of pride and relief on Chris's face. They walk hand in hand through the streets of San Francisco, a city that now seems full of promise and opportunity. This climax is not only a celebration of a professional achievement, but also a testament to the power of resilience, altruism, and the strength of the relationship between father and son. It is a triumph not just financial, but emotional and personal, one that resonates deeply with audiences, inspiring and uplifting. This dramatic climax serves as a pivotal point in the narrative, bringing together the themes of resilience and hope that run throughout the film. I'm wondering if there are any adjustments you'd like to make to this section before we wrap up the story. After the emotional climax of his acceptance into the brokerage, Chris Gardner and his son Christopher have a moment of reflection and celebration. The camera follows them walking through the streets of San Francisco, now lit not just by the streetlights, but by the new life that awaits them. Chris, with a narrative voice in the background, reflects on his journey, sharing thoughts on perseverance and how it can shape a person's destiny. He talks about the challenges he faced, the sleepless nights, and the many times he felt close to giving up, but never did. The camera captures the warm interaction between father and son, showing how their relationship has strengthened throughout this journey. Chris mentions how each small moment of altruism, humility, and inspiration helped shape the path to this point, emphasizing that true happiness comes from knowing that you have done everything you can to improve not only your own life, but also those around you. The film then reveals that the story was based on true events, with footage of the real Chris Gardner and his son, now adults, and an update on where they are now. Chris became a successful man and motivational speaker, inspiring millions with his story of determination and overcoming. The conclusion ends with Chris giving one last piece of advice to the audience. Never let anyone tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You have a dream. You have to protect it. If you want something, go get it. The camera slowly pulls away, leaving viewers with the image of Chris and Christopher fading into the distance, symbolizing the ongoing journey each of us faces in pursuit of our own dreams. This conclusion is designed to not only bring closure to Chris and Christopher's story, but also to inspire those watching to pursue their own goals with courage and determination. I would like to know if you are satisfied with this conclusion, or if there is anything you would like to adjust or add before we move on to the final phase of the roadmap. As the narrative of the pursuit of happiness concludes, the camera slowly moves away, leaving us with images of San Francisco at dusk, a symbolism of the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. Chris Gardner, now a man transformed by his own tenacity and his son's unconditional love, has become a source of inspiration and a living testimony that perseverance pays off. Chris' voice, still in narration, resonates with the film's final message: the importance of believing in yourself, of fighting adversity with humility and altruism, and of never giving up on your dreams. He highlights that each person has the ability to change their life, and that true turnarounds happen when we least expect it, but only if we maintain our constant faith and effort. The film closes with a series of Chris's interactions with others he has helped over the years, demonstrating how he has used his position to positively influence the lives of others. These scenes are interwoven with real testimonials from people who were inspired by Chris's story, creating a powerful and moving effect that transcends the screen. As the music rises, the film features one last quote from Chris Gardner. "This part of my life, this little part, is called happiness." It's a powerful statement that perfectly sums up the essence of the story and leaves the audience with a message of hope and renewal. Finally, the film makes a direct appeal to the viewer, with Chris asking, "What about you? Are you ready to pursue your happiness?" This rhetorical question not only encourages personal reflection, but also serves as a call to action, encouraging the audience to pursue their own dreams with the same determination and courage that Chris showed. This closing is designed to be motivating and uplifting, ensuring that the film's message resonates with audiences long after the credits roll. I would like to know if this closure meets your expectations, or if there are any adjustments you would like to make before completing our itinerary. As our journey through Chris Gardner's incredible story comes to a close, it becomes clear that the limits we face are often those we impose on ourselves. Chris's saga is not only a testament to what is possible with determination and love, but also an invitation for all of us to reflect on our own lives. What challenges are you facing right now? What dreams have you put on hold? Chris showed us that with persistence and faith, even the biggest obstacles can be overcome. He transformed his life and that of his son from a situation of near despair to achieve a success that many would consider impossible. Now, we invite you to take action. Don't let fear or doubt stop you from pursuing the life you want. Ask yourself, if Chris can do it, what's stopping me from trying? Engage with us in the comments below. Share your story or simply tell us what you are planning to change in your life after hearing this inspiring story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There are many more stories like Chris's that we are excited to share with you. Stories that we hope will inspire you to fight for your dreams and transform your own reality.